And there is Bubba "Badman" Jenkins coming off the biggest win of his career, Kenny. And after watching the performance we just saw from Brendan Loughnane and Tyler Diamond, expectations at an all-time high.
Yeah, there's no question about it. He is facing a guy in Bobby Moffett who could pose some problems to the wrestling style of Bubba Jenkins. Again, he has excellent front chokes. That could be a nice way to counter some of the double leg and single leg takedowns. So I'm curious to see how Moffett approaches the wrestling game of Bubba Jenkins.
It's a big step up in competition for Bobby Moffett. Now, he's been on the big stage, but he's never faced a national champion wrestler like this guy.
Bobby Moffett feels he has to make this ugly. It just means he has to grind on him, stay in his face. He believes he has better endurance than Bubba Jenkins, and he needs to test that. He needs to take gas out of him, make him work for everything, and make it ugly.
Take a look at our tail of the tape presented by the United States Marine Corps. Bubba Jenkins is 2 years older, 2 inches shorter, 2-inch disadvantage in the arm reach, the same in the leg reach and the weight. Both of these men representing the United States of America. Lillian Garcia, take it away.
The PFL is more than a fight. It's a season, and the season continues right now in the featherweight division. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a jiu-jitsu practitioner. Standing at 5'10", he officially weighs in at 146 pounds. In 19 professional fights, he has a record of 13 wins, 5 losses, and 1 no contest, with 9 victories by way of stoppage. Fighting out of Homewood, Illinois, here is Bobby the Wolfman Moffett! His opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he is a wrestler. Standing at 5'8", he officially weighs in at 145 1/2 pounds. In 19 professional fights, he has a record of 15 wins and 4 losses, with 9 victories by stoppage. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, by way of Virginia Beach, here is Bubba "Badman" Jenkins! Your referee in charge, Vitor Schoelen.
Bobby Moffett in black and gray trunks, Bubba Jenkins in the green and white. Bubba holds 3 points coming into this bout.
Are you ready?
A win of any kind will get him into the playoffs. Bobby Moffett wants the first round finish. High kick from Jenkins, he gets right to it. Takes the back of Bobby Moffett against the cage here.
And Bubba Jenkins just picking up where he left off against Lance Palmer. I mean, this is where he was in this position repeatedly, just letting Bobby carry his weight. He chips away and slowly grinds down on you. This is the kind of style that isn't going to get Bubba tired. It's going to make Bobby tired. So see if Bobby can counter with something here.
Bubba locked in behind and on that back position, just digging those knees into Moffett's back, in the back of his legs and his butt.
Looks like Bobby's trying to set up a ninja choke there.
Bubba Jenkins pressuring Bobby Moffett. From the first 15 seconds of the fight, having to carry your opponent can get very taxing. Bobby Moffett told us he has the endurance. We're going to see him tested if he continues this way.
One hook in by Bubba Jenkins. That fence is going to preclude him from coming all the way around and getting that other anchor, that other hook in.
There's Brendan Loughnane sitting backstage to watch Bubba Jenkins fight. They said at the press conference, it's going to be me and you. They feel like they're on a collision course. Well, we'll see how it goes. As Bobby Moffett, a little 2-on-1. Little celebration beverage there for Brendan Loughnane.
Bobby doing a good job of keeping that arm on the far side of his neck so he can turn and face Bubba and possibly get out, but Bubba is following that connection very well.
Moffett back up, nice job.
Jenkins.
Bubba right back in on the double.
Oh, there's that ninja choke.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jenkins pulls his head out, gives Moffett a couple punches for his efforts. Inside leg kick there from Bobby Moffett. And now on the outside. Double uppercut attempt there from Jenkins. Body kick from Moffett. Jenkins in the southpaw stance. Moffett orthodox. Bobby Moffett needs a first-round finish to guarantee himself a playoff spot as the left hand lands from Bubba Jenkins and the body kick to follow. That means 90 seconds remain for Moffett to guarantee himself a playoff spot. If he gets a finish in round 2, he'll have to wait and see. Bubba Jenkins has a little bit more time in this true sports format. Regular season, this the second regular season bout for Bubba Jenkins. And then, of course, the playoffs at a championship. The talking continues.
Bubba's doing a good job of mixing up his strikes and being a threat on the feet with his hands and feet, which is only going to set up his takedowns that much more.
Jenkins was commenting on that winging of a right hand that just missed.
Kenny, you mentioned that Bubba Jenkins' striking has improved. That includes the defense. He's moving his head, and you know he's taking heat off of punches, even if they do partially land. He's really worked on that part of his craft, and you can see Dewey Cooper over there in his corner, and a big part of that.
Yeah, Dewey Cooper's an amazing kickboxer. He's a great instructor. I've actually done a little pad work with Dewey myself. He's a tremendous trainer.
And the man always has great shoes, always. Little switch foot there in the right hand. We saw that work earlier tonight. Bubba Jenkins tries it out.
Ooh. Almost landed that hook kick.
Back for some more featherweight action. Second round. Bubba Jenkins in the green with the flying knee attempt. Bobby Moffett in his PFL debut in the black and gray now finds his back against the PFL Smart Cage.
Yeah,
FPR score favors Bubba Jenkins in that first round. No surprise there.
Yeah, Bubba taking a similar approach they did in round 1 where he goes right for the takedown early.
Nice control here. That far side handcuff with Bubba Jenkins. Bobby Moffett tries to use it to roll. It'll be tough to get a national champion wrestler to fall for something like that.
That's going to be tough to roll. He's got that near ankle trapped with his leg, and he's got that far wrist. It kind of locks him in.
And Bubba's just staying calm, he's staying composed, he's content to kind of just chip away and use his weight to tire Bobby out. Bobby, nice job scrambling to his feet though.
Let's go, Bobby! Let's go, baby! He's fighting!
Sharp hands there from Bubba Jenkins. Nice head movement from Bobby Moffett. Once again, Jenkins evades.
Let's go, Bobby! You got it, baby! Let's go!
Shimon Moraes
Come on, Bobby.
has a rooting interest
Let's go,
in
baby.
Bobby
You got
Moffitt's
this.
success here. Earlier, he got a second-round submission. He needs Bobby Moffett to pull off a victory here because that would clinch him a spot in the playoffs.
Let's go, Bobby. Come on, baby.
Bobby Moffett now pressing Bubba Jenkins against the cage. Jenkins working on the neck.
Bobby doing a good job of winning that underhook battle there. You see that left arm is able to control Bubba Jenkins, but Bubba Jenkins able to break out of it. Lands a nice combination.
Round 2 halfway gone, which means the fight is halfway gone. Nice double jab there in the left hand from Bubba Jenkins. Chris Wade's already got his spot clinched. He just wants to see what's on the table. Jenkins on top once again. Bobby Moffett finds himself crunched up against the PFL Smart Cage.
Oh, Jenkins got to watch his head. This guy's got great chokes from this position.
8 submission victories for Bobby Moffett in his career. Bubba Jenkins does need to respect the jiu-jitsu even when he's on top. Tell you what, Bobby Moffett is a big featherweight. Broad-shouldered guy, big shoulders, big arms.
So much of Bubba Jenkins' style, it comes directly from collegiate wrestling. Just the way he rides, the way he shoots, tenacious way he finishes those takedowns. It's classic collegiate wrestling.
And for a long time in his career, the criticism was, yeah, but you have the striking to back it up. You have the jiu-jitsu to back it up. And those questions are being answered, especially in these exchanges on the feet. They were in the first fight. And sometimes those questions don't need to be answered, because if you can control and wrestle your way to a victory, it doesn't matter how good your striking is.
That's it. When you're that good of a wrestler, you just need enough. Enough striking.
He's trying to trap that bottom wrist in the seat belt. Sitting on the bottom leg now, what we call a bottom leg Turk. Collegiate wrestling. And he's got that seat belt. So that gives one hand to trying to protect his head.
19 seconds. Get your feet. Control that position, champion. Control that position.
Bubba Jenkins, every time that Bobby Moffett starts to build the base or get up, gable grip and just yanks him back down to where he wants him.
Smothers him.
3 seconds remaining, and we will see round number 3. That is the glow. Clarissa Shields patiently waiting for her MMA debut. Still to come here on ESPN2. In the cage now, 3rd and final round of featherweight action between Bubba Madman Jenkins and Bobby Moffett. FPR score there favoring Jenkins for the 2nd consecutive round, as is the verdict fan vote. Nice kicks there from Bobby Moffett. He switches to a southpaw stance. Jenkins grabs a single leg, goes to the body lock.
He has done that successfully almost every single time he's tried against everybody so far. My goodness.
Very explosive. His level change is great. He keeps his feet moving and runs you all the way to the barrier.
Hard to fight someone that's always behind you, and Bubba Jenkins has done a great job of doing that.
Nice scramble here by Moffett, getting himself back to his feet and out. Jenkins sticks to him like a wet blanket.
Nice job with the
Here's
knee
that
pick.
ninja choke again.
Ooh, he's
That
got
looks
it.
pretty tight. That looks pretty
Jenkins
tight.
has to flip up and over. Bobby Moffett squeezing tight.
Ooh, he
Bubba
got out.
Jenkins
He
is able
changed
to
the
work
angle.
around it. Excellent attempt there.
Oh, wow.
And now Bobby Moffett on the back of Bubba Jenkins
Uh-oh.
with 3.5 minutes to go.
Missed the hook.
Uh-oh. Bubba's got to be careful.
Arm under the neck again. Bubba Jenkins has to scramble himself out of that one before the hands can lock.
Yeah, that was close. It looked like Bubba was going to turn the wrong way on that one.
You know when you ditch position and just scramble to try to get out of there, that it's tight.
Yep. And this is what Bobby wanted. He thought that if he could drag it to the third round, he could tire out Bubba Jenkins.
Nice left hand there from Bubba Jenkins. High kick attempt from Bobby Moffett. Confidence building potentially for the PFL newcomer in Moffett.
And there is Bobby Moffett's biggest fan, Shaman Moraes. Oh, not a bad left hand there from Jenkins.
Moffett comes forward with a 1-2 of his own. There's an exchange with Bubba Jenkins back against the cage. Hands on the hips, fatigue certainly becoming a factor here for Bubba Jenkins.
Certainly seems that he's spent a lot in the gas tank, Bubba Jenkins, and Moffett has taken advantage of that. I wonder how close those chokes were, because he certainly seemed to zap Bubba Jenkins.
And this is the position where Bobby's most dangerous, these front chokes. He's trying to pour it on here. He's got about 1:40 to try to get it done.
You put pressure on Bubba Jenkins to force him to take a bad shot, he might fall into one of those front chokes.
More aggressive striking here from Moffett. 90 seconds remaining.
There's that shot.
Yes, yes, go.
Front three-quarter on him. Look for him to adjust. He needs to headhunt right here. He's got 1 minute and 17 seconds left. Moffett needs to really turn it up and headhunt.
Bubba Jenkins keeping that hand on the mat. 3 points of contact mean that he cannot be kneed in the head. A couple of body shots and a knee. Bobby Moffett really pouring it on. Volume is one thing, Kenny, but these need to be big-time shots as Jenkins finally answers.
Absolutely. Just hasn't been able to get enough pop to really hurt Bubba. He's stinging him with some shots, but really doesn't have him hurt.
Now Bubba Jenkins with a 3-punch offering. Moffett clipped him there.
Yeah, these are better shots from Bobby.
25 seconds. Time running out for Bobby Moffett. Shaman Moraes turning up his cheering in the back. 15 seconds now. Bubba Jenkins plants his feet and swings. Inside of 10 seconds, Bubba goes down to the legs. Will close it out against the cage with a flurry from Bobby Moffett. Back and forth affair. Bobby Moffett raises his hands. Bubba Jenkins grips the smart cage, looking for some air. Here's a take a look at our Cageonomics stats bundle presented by Geico. Takedowns for Bubba Jenkins could prove to be the difference in this fight as it goes to the judges' scorecards. He also landed and threw more on the feet, making himself into a well-rounded mixed martial artist.
Well, here's Bubba Jenkins getting it done from the outside and on the inside, able to score those takedowns, chipping away. He's got that cross wrist and nice right hooks, just wearing on Bobby, but the tide started to turn in the third round for Bobby.
Exclusive fighter performance rating sponsored by Rich Energy gives rounds 1 and 2 to Bubba Jenkins. Bobby Moffett able to turn the tide in the third, but 2 rounds to 1. That might mean Bubba Jenkins takes the decision. We'll see what the judges think. Let's see what the fans think. They saw it the same way that FPR did. 1 and 2 clearly to Bubba Jenkins. Round 3 goes to Bobby Moffett. All right, FPR and the fans saw it in favor of Bubba Jenkins. Randy and Kenny saw it in the favor of Bubba Jenkins. The judges, well, Lillian Garcia lets us know what they thought.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored the bout 29-28 for your winner by unanimous decision, earning 3 points in the featherweight division, clinching a spot in the 2021 PFL playoffs, Bubba Badman Jenkins!
Yes!
You see it? Hey, Bob, see this. Top fighter, bro.
All right, there are the featherweight standings. You see Brendan Loughnane at the top with 9 points, Chris Wade with 8, and Bubba Jenkins now with 6 points. And let's throw it to Sean O'Connell, who's with the victor, Bubba Jenkins.
Thank you, Kenny Florian. Here I am inside the PFL Smart Cage. The winner by decision, Bubba Badman Jenkins, which means you are 2-0 in your PFL career, and you have clinched a playoff spot. It was a grind to get here, but here you are. How you feeling?
First, I gotta give a shout out and talk to my God first before I even talk to man. Secondly, I'm feeling great, man. It was a hard performance. They switched the opponent at the last minute. I know a lot of people have that excuse and things like that. Didn't put on my best performance, but we're gonna keep grinding. We move on to the next round, and that's what's important. So thank you guys for coming out. I'm excited about what I can do for the next round.
So you and Brendan Loughnane, John, back and forth a little bit, having a little fun at the press conference and all that. You saw his performance tonight. We saw your performance tonight. You still feel like it's you two, the favorites at 145 pounds.
Well, even though Brandon Loughnane talks to me and I talk to him and we have some good banter, it's really a fight and a race against myself. I'm not really looking at the guys who, you know, claim they're going to be the champions. I've beaten many champions. I've beaten many killers. It's bad man versus the bad man, and we're going to see what happens.
2-0 in the PFL and playoff bound, Bubba Badman Jenkins.
Got it. 2-0 PFL.
And Brendan Loughnane standing there watching it all.
First of all, hey, who's gonna get that picture? You see that picture? Congratulations. Congratulations. Yeah. And do it just straight up right now.
That's an interesting matchup. I mean, we'll really see Brendan Loughnane's wrestling on display there for
Yeah.
faces of Bubba Jenkins, because Bubba heavily uses his wrestling to win these fights. And obviously, they're not matched up yet. Could be a final, could be in the playoffs. Who knows? But they're certainly having fun poking each other.
Little hug from Ray Lewis there. You saw Bubba biting the style, the dance moves. That's Ray Lewis's. That's the Ray Lewis entrance dance. Look at that.
Did he outdance Ray Lewis? He might have.
You can't outdance Ray Lewis at Ray Lewis's own dance, right?
I shouldn't say that too loud. He's right over there.